Dude, my nose has like a glare. What the fuck? Oh my god, dude. I look like Rudolph. Anyways, um, where's my picture here? Oh, why play it safe in fantasy? Okay, if the payout structure in your league is likely something here, the payout structure in your league is probably like half to first place, 20 to second, or 30 to second, 20 to third. Like it's probably the top they're getting paid, and that's it. So why would you do anything except for shoot for first place if they get like half the pot or more? I mean that's just being conservative, right? Like doesn't make any sense to me. Why you would try to pick a bunch of safe players, right? And that theory is supported by numbers and stuff. So let's check it out here. Oh, you didn't see that at all, did you? You didn't see that one at all. Um, this is data from 2019, and shout out PFF. If y'all want my password, I can give it to you. Just kidding. I don't do that. Scott Barrett, very great article here. Okay, so the average win rate, okay, in fantasy football, uh, assuming that there's 12 teams in the league, what's that? Every player drafted has an 8.5% chance of being on the winning team, theoretically, right? In a perfect world. And as you can see, James White was drafted. And okay, so this is best ball. The data is a little more crazy for redraft, as you'll see, but this is just best ball to like prove the point, right? So you can read it here. In best ball leagues, James White had an ADP of 25, of RB 25, and he actually ended up scoring 19th as the 19th best running back. Yeah, his win rate was dead average. It was dead average. How does that happen? Well, the list of people that win you leagues is a very short list, and James White never had a chance of being on the list because he didn't have the upside to get there, right? So he was a, a pick that was good, but you can't really say it. Like he outperformed his ADP, but he wasn't a good pick, which doesn't make too much sense. But I'll explain it more, right? So Christian McCaffrey was essentially the default two pick as they're reading here, and he only beat his ADP of RB2 by one spot, but over a third of teams that drafted him won the league, as you can see here, nearly 37%. Okay, so let's just keep going, right? So if you had Christian McCaffrey, right, you had a 48% chance of playing in a championship. If you drafted CMC in 2019 in his big year, you had a 1 in 2 chance of being in the championship. And at that point, I mean, it's kind of up to a dice roll. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can't really do much about that because he was like such a high pick, but like he was a true league winner. Now let's keep going, okay? Ooh, this is kind of cool. That's a cool little stat. But let's keep going, okay? Lamar Jackson, okay? Lamar Jackson is why you draft for upside. Lamar Jackson was drafted here. Let's see if they say where he was drafted. I don't see, but he was a yes, routinely a 10th round pick, right? He was routinely a 10th round pick, but he goes on to be QB1 by a lot, and he's on all the championship teams. If you're drafting a guy like, and the market has corrected for quarterbacks, but if you're drafting a guy like Big Ben Roethlisberger, right, and you're saying, okay, he can be QB 12 for me. That's cool. That's all great and all, but he has no chance of being Lamar Jackson. Okay, that's I mean, we we've sharpened up to the running quarterbacks because of Lamar Jackson, but the point remains. You need to draft players in the mold of a Lamar Jackson with upside like that to go out and win leagues like this. Okay, because if you had Lamar Jackson, your chances of being in the championship were 2.5 times greater, if my math is checking out, or more than that. Okay, so you get the point. But Austin Eckler had a seventh round ADP at RB 28, and he was a really good. Okay, uh, if you had Eckler on your team, you had a 1 in 3 shot better than that of being in the championship, which is over. Wait, what's the actual data? You're about 3 times as likely as your league makes to be in the championship game. Okay, because he was drafted late, he had upside, the upside was attained, obtained, and here we are. Okay, I mean, you get the point here. Michael Thomas was like really good too, but um, okay, that was just like I hope that helped a little bit. But now I'm gonna get into another article that's gonna help us out more, and I'm gonna explain it more. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great video, and it's gonna be awesome. All right, so let's keep going here. Um, this is once again for best of all, so the data is a little bit more wacky. However, stick with me, okay? So, oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, shout out the footballers as well, and who's author of this? By Kyle Borgiani, cool guy. Okay, boom, 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 boom. So here was he. Oh, okay. Alvin Kamara last year had the seventh highest win rate of running backs in the past 10 years. I don't know what the sample size is, but I mean, that's cool, right? But that's like okay, that's like the cream of the crop. But let's go to this year's data and this year's data alone. Okay, so we see here are the running backs with win rates that were very high. Okay, here they are. Alvin Kamara, expected. Okay, he was the shit and everything. Um, so Alvin Kamara was drafted at about 85, as was Dalvin Cook and as was Derrick Henry, and they were all top five finishers in terms of win rate. But outside of those three players, we had nobody else inside the top 50. Okay, on this list of the top 15 win rates among running backs, and outside of David Montgomery, Kareem Hunt, and Ronald Jones, we had nobody else in the top 100. Okay, and guys like Kareem Hunt, guys like David Montgomery, and Ronald Jones. I mean, Kareem Hunt was drafted in an ambiguous backfield and hit. David Montgomery was drafted in an ambiguous backfield with upside and hit, and Ronald Jones was drafted in an ambiguous backfield and hit. All three of those guys fit the mold of high upside players. None of them were drafted for their floor. Hey, like he's gonna be RB 25 and that's it. Okay, they all had baked in upside. Okay, and as we keep going down the list here, here let's just start from here. Tony Pollard, he was the classic upside player. Gio Bernard, he wasn't really an upside play. He just wasn't drafted. But like, if there was anything, it was like, hey, he's gonna be a good handcuff, right? So I guess he wasn't a safe play. Lat Murray, classic upside play, like Kareem Hunt. Jerick McKinnon, classic upside play. Chase Edmonds, once again. Rex Burkhead, all these guys have upside because of the pass catching or the ambiguous backfield or something. But none of them were drafted for their floor alone. None of them were drafted for their floor alone. Okay, none of them. James Robinson, you get it. Naheem Hines, Jaden McKissick, all these guys, everybody on this list had lots of upside, and it was brought to fruition by their win rates. Like you're not on winning teams if you don't have upside, right? Like you don't see James White here for a reason. Of last year, I mean, like you get the point. Like James White does not end up on these lists that high. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like James White needs injuries to end up this high. James White cannot end up this high alone. But let's keep going. I believe there is more data here. Is there? There better be more. Please, please. Oh no, that's a bummer. But I mean, this just here. I have notes actually. I do have notes. I promise. Yeah. Okay. But like, guys, you don't win. I mean, this is just an awful video of me talking right now. But you don't win leagues with safety. You can't go out and draft a James White in the sixth round and expect to win your league. You need to be drafting Ronald Jones there. You need to be drafting guys with ceilings that they can get to and win your league. You need to be drafting Kareem Hunts. You know, I mean, it's cool to get a low ceiling player, but if they don't have an injury, they're not gonna help you win your league, and they're probably detrimental picks to your roster. You know, I mean, even if they perform as an RB2, you know, it doesn't really help you that much. So, off the top of my head, guys that fit this mold of you don't want them because they're you know what I'm saying, like you don't want them because they don't have upside. Um, Josh Jacobs is a classic pick here. He's gonna be an RB 2 or 3, and that's about it. He doesn't have much upside. Okay, Josh Jacobs is one of those guys. James Conner is a guy like that. That I'm just thinking of. You don't really want them, you know. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. They might be in ambiguous backfields, but they both don't have upside because their team doesn't throw enough, you know. Or no, it doesn't run enough. And the quarterback is taking on the goal line carries, you know. Just think here, you know. before you click select on a player, make sure that this is in their range of outcomes. Because if it's not, you don't want them. Okay. I'm not saying pick upside at like every single play, just like shoot for the moon. But I mean, after your first couple of picks, if you're drafting a James White, I want you in my league because I don't like. I'm taking your money. Like that pick doesn't help you win a championship ever and never will. But a guy like Rojo will, you know, a guy like Kareem Hunt will, James Robinson, J.D. McKissick. Like you get the point, guys. I'm just belaboring it at this point. But yeah, I hope that made some sense. Because it did in my head. So I hope it came to